Disclaimer. The video serves informational and entertainment purpose only. The content is considered speculative and should not be treated as confirmed fact. We encourage you to conduct your research and form your conclusion.
The precision that it takes to do what they do, to get notes on the daily and incorporate them immediately, it's such an ensemble piece.
It's our last week here. I feel like Diego really became a man here.
I did. I grew out my feature and I'm still working on it.
I just put my blonde wig on for the first time, and I'm thinking about becoming a blonde. I'll show you a photo. I'll show you a photo.
Together. Oh my God.
Wait, right?
Rachel.
It's wild.
She just crossed a line even her hardest critics didn't see coming. Rachel Zegler, the 23-year-old star who famously declared she'd elbow everyone out of the way for a role, has allegedly sent shockwaves through Hollywood and infuriated theater purists alike. We're not talking about a bad movie or a controversial interview anymore. This is about a cultural bomb exploding backstage, a move so audacious it threatens to change theater forever. According to multiple insiders tied to the West End production, Rachel Zegler has allegedly shocked producers of Evita by demanding her male co-star be replaced with a trans actor. Yes, you heard that right. In what some are calling one of the most aggressive casting demands in modern theater, Zegler reportedly insisted the iconic male role, traditionally Juan Perón or the narrator Che, be reimagined through a post-gender lens. She allegedly argued that casting a cisgender man sends the wrong message in today's climate. Sources claim she wasn't merely suggesting, she was issuing an ultimatum. This isn't just a casting choice, this is a power play unmasked, revealing a pattern of ideologically charged behavior that's been brewing. From mocking Snow White's original storyline, calling the prince creepy and romance outdated, to this alleged demand on Evita, Zegler has become Hollywood's ultimate lightning rod. What chaos erupted behind the scenes when she reportedly told her producers to overhaul a classic? And why are some insiders now saying this entire production is hanging by a thread? Stick around, because this story isn't just about casting, it's about control, and it may just change theater forever.
I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned.
And our lead actress hates our film, our actors, our storyline.
So it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, like, what drew you to the material? Is that, like, I didn't realize that I was reading lines.
It's just a total nightmare for the studios. So now she's trying to sell like...
And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part.
I wouldn't even recognize her on the street, so I find it hard to believe these kids are coming up and asking for selfies. This has to be set up. I wouldn't know her from Adam walking down the block.
It's obviously a very convoluted subject, and I'm not fully equipped to talk about all of the gritty details, what she sees in the world. And it's definitely not lost on her that her themes are very much prevalent in the world. And I'm really thankful that we get to kind of hold the mirror up to society and ask them those questions without necessarily force-feeding them an answer.
We don't want to hear from Rachel Zegler about feminism or her life or what she wants to do with her body. Be an actress, be young, be an ingenue in Hollywood. I don't understand what she's doing. The fastest way to tank your career, go out there and start running your mouth and trashing the original IP of the film you're in. Also, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man. Can we not have chivalry in this world anymore? There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'd love for a man to come scoop me up and provide for me.
TLDR, the girls and the gays, we all want a man, we all dream about true love.
Imagine the glitz, the glamour, the unseen beginning of a fairy tale. Rachel Zegler, plucked from thousands by Steven Spielberg himself, soared from unknown high school student to Golden Globe winner with West Side Story. Overnight, she became Hollywood's newest darling. Instantly cast as Disney's next live-action Snow White, she was the fresh face, the new voice, destined to carry the torch for a new generation. This was her crowning moment, a seemingly perfect trajectory. But even then, the seeds of controversy were being sown. Her Snow White press tour became a media disaster, a sudden shift from charming ingenue to divisive figure. She critiqued the original film as outdated, called the prince a stalker, and dismissed true love in favor of a leader, Snow White. Audiences reacted with fury, accusing her of disrespecting tradition and pushing a woke agenda. This wasn't just a misstep. It was the first crack behind the persona, revealing a star seemingly unafraid to challenge beloved classics. The industry, however, still gambled on her, hoping Evita would be her redemption, a return to her acclaimed musical theater roots. But the pressure was immeasurable. This wasn't a fictional fairy tale. This was a historical, cultural monument. Whispers of her alleged uncoachable nature and reports of demanding salary increases during the strikes already circulated. The cultural stakes were no longer just about a film's box office. They were about the very integrity of a cherished art form. The tension now coiled, palpable, and crushing, as Rachel Zegler stepped into a battle not just for her career, but for the soul of the stories themselves.
Looks like all this agenda is for the sake of girl power, for the sake of wokeness, for the sake of ridiculousness and stupidness that women bring to entertainment much of the time nowadays. When all a woman really has to do is be attractive and don't screw it up. That's all a woman really has to do and be.
Disney, get your girl. Rachel Zegler is making it very difficult to be excited for the new Snow White movie that's supposed to come out next year. If you are living under a rock, there's been a lot of controversy about the fact that Rachel Zegler is playing Snow White in the film. That's not where my problem comes. I'm all for it. Go for it. But what she's doing in press, and these are interviews that I believe were done before the actors' strike, but of course are now being brought up on the internet. She's basically talking about how much she didn't like the actual original movie, even saying that it scared her, and then talking about how the love story in this isn't really going to be at the forefront, that the prince, yes, has been cast, he's in it, but might be cut, Hollywood, and that the prince in the original film was problematic and was creepy because he was stalking Snow White. I just can't believe that Disney's PR hasn't silenced her on this yet. The live-action movies already have a problem where people are kind of over them and they don't like the changes that are being made from the originals to these.
And then, the explosion hit. A cultural bomb far more devastating than any box office flop. Just as everyone thought Rachel Zegler might be softening her image, new reports surfaced, alleging she committed a cardinal sin. She demanded the Evita script be rewritten. This wasn't a quiet suggestion. This was a reported power play unmasked, where Zegler allegedly insisted on sweeping changes to entire scenes, lyrics, and even character dynamics, deeming the original offensive to marginalized communities. Even more shocking, sources close to the production claim she issued an ultimatum to replace her male co-star with a trans actor, arguing a cisgender man sends the wrong message in today's climate. The reaction was instantaneous and fury-filled. Fans of the original Evita, and even those barely familiar with the musical, flooded social media. Hashtags like #NotMyEvita trended, turning the conflict into traditionalists versus revisionists. This wasn't just a creative debate. It felt like a performer, backed by a powerful PR machine, was attempting to rewrite a sacred cultural text. One viral post raged, "Zegler didn't sign on to honor the story, she signed on to rewrite it in her own image." This revealed a deep-seated perceived hypocrisy, a star accepting an iconic role only to allegedly dismantle its core. Behind the curtain, the chaos was palpable. Insiders describe rehearsals descending into a war zone of egos. Multiple team members privately expressed frustration, some allegedly referring to her as the showrunner without the title. Directors and longtime collaborators reportedly felt blindsided by her demands, including late arrivals, abruptly walking out of rehearsals, and even throwing a prop in frustration. This clash wasn't just creative, it was philosophical. Traditionalists wanted to preserve the soul, while Zegler, according to leaks, wanted to reconstruct it entirely. The silence from Zegler regarding these unanswered allegations only amplified the outrage, solidifying the perception behind the persona that a very different battle was raging. The stage was set, not for a performance, but for an all-out war.
Disney is delaying Snow White over a year until 2025.
You're just giving Rachel Zegler more time to ruin the PR for this movie once the strike is over.
Yes,
Talking about how we don't need a prince. Maybe that's why they're delaying it. They're reshooting the whole thing to get rid of a prince.
Teens and Screens, a report came out this week. Apparently, Gen Z doesn't want to see any romance. What seems strange to me is that stories and entertainments used to be a way that you could see examples of what you could live up to, showing us traditional stories, traditional archetypes. And now the idea is that if what you're seeing on screen doesn't mirror your life, there's something wrong with on screen. And I found that to be very bizarre. Like, I can see things on screen that I think are authentic even though they don't mirror my exact experience.
And the proof kept piling up, a relentless, chaotic info storm exposing the raw nerves behind the persona. While her PR team worked overtime, the internet dug deeper, unearthing Rachel Zegler's past interviews. Clips showing a clear disdain for the very stories she was hired to portray. Her Snow White comments, calling the prince a stalker, were now juxtaposed with her alleged Evita demands. Her perceived smugness and dismissiveness in interviews resonated deeply, solidifying the image of a star out of touch with her audience. The backlash to the Evita demands was explosive. The moment the alleged casting rumors leaked, social media erupted. Within hours, "Not My Evita" trended globally, as fans accused Zegler of erasing history and hijacking the show for a personal agenda. "She wants to play Evita, but not respect Evita," one viral post declared. Even supporters from her West Side Story days began to turn, lamenting, "You can't just demand history be changed because it doesn't align with your worldview." Behind the curtain, the tension was boiling. Sources close to the production painted a picture of disarray. Ziegler's alleged demands, reportedly presented as firm conditions, plunged rehearsals into chaos. Multiple team members privately expressed frustration, some allegedly referring to her as the showrunner without the title. The director, reportedly trying to balance a high-profile lead with the integrity of a sacred text, faced an impossible tightrope. The unanswered allegations from Zegler only amplified the outrage. But the most visceral reaction came from Argentina. Eva Perón isn't just a character, she's a national symbol. Argentine media quickly seized the story, accusing Zegler of cultural arrogance and attempting to impose American identity politics on their South American legacy. "You don't need to rewrite history to honor identity," one historian stated. "You need to understand it and present it honestly." The silence from Zegler only amplified the perception that she was pushing an agenda without explanation. The stage was now a battleground, not just for art, but for cultural control.
And before Rachel Zegler got started doing movies, she was actually a popular theater actress in New York City who was known for doing productions like Little Mermaid. That was a big reason she was able to beat out the other 30,000 actresses auditioned to be in the movie West Side Story, which was her first performance. But that movie ended up bombing hard, where it only made $76 million on a budget of $100 million, and after marketing and ticket splits, it actually lost $120 million. But still, her director Steven Spielberg loved working with her, so he actually recommended her for Disney for the role of Snow White. The movie had a lot of hate going for it, the right calling Rachel Zegler too woke, the left saying that they didn't like Gal Gadot because she was an Israeli veteran, and also at the same time many people just being sick of Disney reboots. And it flopped hard, making only $200 million on a budget of $270 million, which means after marketing and ticket splits, the movie actually lost around $250 million for Disney.
And here, the crushing irony takes center stage. A grim curtain call for a star who sought to control every narrative. Rachel Zegler, the actress who allegedly demanded to rewrite Evita's core to reflect a post-gender lens, now faces a chilling question. Has she inadvertently rewritten her own career out of Hollywood's good graces? Her alleged insistence on radical changes, her public critiques of beloved classics, her self-proclaimed main character energy, all of it has coalesced into a perception that may become her ultimate undoing. The irony is deafening. For an industry that thrives on narrative control, Rachel Zegler's alleged desire to control other narratives from within, to insert ideology where audiences saw classic storytelling, has created a paradox for her own brand. Industry insiders are now openly calling her a high-risk hire, her name associated with failure by some. She doesn't know when to shut up, one spy close to a production lamented, while a Snow White producer's son directly accused her of hijacking the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew. This isn't just about a few bad headlines. It's the unfolding aftermath of a star who, despite undeniable talent, brings mountainous levels of controversy and resentment everywhere she goes. The puppet masters of Hollywood, who once elevated her, are now grappling with a talent whose ideological demands can derail productions, fracture casts, and polarize audiences. This isn't a dramatic cancellation in the traditional sense. It's a slow, insidious retirement riddle, a quiet fade as the industry weighs artistic merit against endless chaos. The fairy tale is over, and the happily ever after, it's been replaced by a cautionary tale of a star who burned too brightly, too fast.
Now Rachel Zegler tried to return to theater to make a recovery, doing Romeo plus Juliet on Broadway, but the problem was ticket sales just weren't that good. With people calling the play just average, saying it was a bad attempt to get Gen Z interested in theater, and with that I'm Charles Perrault. Please subscribe to learn something.
People are really mad at Rachel Zegler. Because of the actors and writers strikes that are happening in Hollywood, she just did an interview where she demanded to have her salary increase.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
But considering she's making millions of dollars playing the role of Snow White, many became became infuriated by her comments saying sarcastic things like she has the perfect attitude for a Disney princess, and she seems like a ball of sunshine.
Yeah, this girl doesn't really help the movie. The more she speaks, the less people want to watch it. And users in the comment didn't hold back. She's paid for a movie nobody asked for and still nobody wants. Yep, and another one, bro, she just blew up. Can she chill? She's been in like 3 movies. Exactly, just...
So, besties, here we stand, at the edge of this unfolding aftermath. Rachel Zegler, the star who boldly declared Snow White irrelevant and allegedly demanded to reshape Evita's very essence, now finds herself at a terrifying crossroads. The backlash, fueled by leaked production demands, backstage chaos, and her own unfiltered comments, has undeniably branded her as a high-risk hire in an industry that craves control and predictability. This isn't just about a film's box office or a musical's reception, it's about a battle for cultural soul. On one side, the passionate vocal fans demanding respect for beloved classics and traditional storytelling. On the other, a segment of Hollywood that, in its pursuit of perceived progressivism, seems increasingly at odds with its audience, rewriting narratives to fit contemporary ideological frameworks. Rachel Zegler, whether by design or by circumstance, has become the ultimate lightning rod in this ongoing cultural war. The puppet masters are watching, carefully weighing undeniable talent against the mounting controversy. And the industry whispers are loud. Is this talent worth the chaos? While her latest Evita performance draws a specific audience, and she continues to pursue projects, the deeper questions persist. Has her alleged insistence on rewriting reality for ideology, as seen with Evita's controversial demands and Snow White's dramatic reimagining, irrevocably altered her long-term career trajectory? Is this the slow, insidious retirement riddle of a star who burned too brightly, too fast? Or is Hollywood simply adapting to a new kind of talent, one that prioritizes a message, perhaps even at the cost of broad audience appeal? So, tell me, has Rachel Zegler truly crossed a line that will define her career forever? Or is this just the painful public birth of a new kind of Hollywood star, one who dares to challenge everything, even if it sparks an all-out cultural war? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the ever-evolving drama of Hollywood, the next act might just be the most shocking yet. And that's the tea for today, my little gossip gremlins. If you enjoyed this drama buffet, don't forget to hit that like button like it's your ex's new partner's Instagram. Aggressively and with zero shame. Beauty. Subscribe to Fame Files so you never miss a single scandal, meltdown, or red carpet disaster. I'm literally serving up hot gossip every single day, even if my Wi-Fi begs me to stop. And listen, be a doll and tap that bell too, okay? Because your girl Macy's got bills to pay, celeb egos to roast, and a grocery cart full of overpriced almond milk that won't buy itself. Shopping cart money. So until next time, stay nosy, stay fabulous, and remember, I spill it so you don't have to sip in silence. Bye.